Hello, guys. Thank you very much for joining in for today's discussion. Like always, what we've been doing now is we have been taking an interview with one of our students, and we have been asking questions related to preparation for FRM level 1 and level 2, trying to understand what was their journey, what all problems they faced, how was their preparation, what was the time management, so that the new people who are going to appear for the exam, they get some idea, they can see how people are clearing the exam, and they can get some motivation. Okay. So with this logic, we're going to be starting out with today's discussion. Today we have Parth Shah, directly from Australia, to talking to us. And hello, Parth, how are you doing?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Great, great, great. So, Parth, we'll start with the discussion. So, please help with the audience. What was your profile before doing FRM? What were you doing? What was your
So,
education background?
so prior to FRM, I had done my MBA in finance from KJ Somaya, the same college that you had done. Bro. Then, previous to that, I had done my engineering from DJ Sangvi in IT.
Mhm.
So, and then fortunately through my college, I landed up with a job, and then in my first year, that is when I started with the FRM journey.
Okay, okay, right, right. So when you look at the FRM curriculum, when you started out your preparation, was there any difficult topic, or was there anything which you felt that okay, this is something which I have a weakness for, and you want to focus more on that? Anything like that?
So to be very honest, mathematical calculation was something which I considered my forte, but when it came to theory, that is something which I am not much inclined to.
Okay.
So whenever there were theoretical topics, especially I think book one has more of theory.
Yes.
So those topics were a bit of challenge for me because it was more about remembering rather than solving something and getting an output for. So those were some difficult topics that I encountered, but I I mean the sums were primarily my forte, so I concentrated more on them. I practiced enough so that could solve most of the questions during the exam.
Right, right, right. Okay. And when we look at the preparation that you had for FRM level 1, so
Right.
what was that? I mean, what was the time commitment that you had to give it, because you were working at that point in time? So how much time
Right.
commitment you had?
So primarily what I did was that since every week we had our classes, so before or after during that particular weekend, I used to ensure that I at least read what we had done previously. Maybe because maybe not during the week, it was difficult. It was difficult to revise. So maybe at least during the weekend, I used to try to just go through the topics that we had discussed during that particular week. Towards the latter half, when exams came nearer, maybe a month or a half prior, that is when I started devoting almost 1.5 hour each day, either before work or after work. Primarily before work, at least before I set my foot out of my house, I used to devote at least 1.5 hour every day. Maybe
Okay.
just solve things in the morning, and if I'm not that tired enough, used to come home and read a
Great.
bit of theory if possible.
Okay.
But yeah,
So primarily the focus was on daily reading, daily solving, and like that.
yeah.
So in terms of question bank, if I'm not wrong, were you able to solve the big range of around 2,000, 3,000 questions which was provided to you? Was it possible to
Yeah,
do it?
so I only relied on the materials that you had provided me, and to be very honest, it was pretty much concise and up to the mark. So I didn't look beyond anything which you had provided to me, uh,
Mhm.
and all the question banks, all the question sets that you had said made absolute sense, and which actually helped me during my level one.
Okay.
Because level one is where the focus is more on solving
Solving,
and there are
yes.
more quant based questions rather than theory. So I totally relied on whatever material that you had provided,
Okay.
and it is sufficient, which I felt at least during my exam, because there was not a single question where I thought that it is somewhere which I couldn't strike some similarities within the question bank that you had given us.
Right.
So
Great. And what happened? during the exam. So you have 4 hours, you have 100 questions. So what was your situation in that exam?
Yeah, so just like a normal exam, you start from the first question, but but during, I think after 2.5 hours, I realized that I will have to let go of a few questions. So then, while I was at around 50 to 60, I remember at around the 2.5 hour mark, then I thought that maybe I will not be able to complete my entire paper. So then I started from the reverse. I thought, because I remember that you had given us certain tips that because there are different sets of paper, they will set up those questions randomly. So it may be that you will face difficult questions in the start, and then you may have some easy questions in the end, which you can easily tick off. So then I changed my approach. I then uh, had a glimpse of all the pages. Wherever it was easy enough, I could just pick the answers and move on, especially the theory ones, because either you get it or you don't get it. So wherever those questions were possible, I just randomly started taking those, and then again went on to my previous where I had left it from. So, but yes, I, to be very honest, could attempt around 80, 85 questions. The next 15, 20, I had to just randomly take.
The time constraint and
Yeah,
the question also was very quantitative driven, so it took a lot of
yeah,
time to do that. So
yeah.
and you immediately appeared for FRM level 2 once you cleared FRM level 1, right? So what was that preparation? Because you had very less amount of time, and the curriculum for level 2 is vast as compared to the level 1. You do not have much of calculation. So any particular book which you faced problem with?
Primarily, the challenge with FRM level 2 is that and if you are giving in May, the biggest problem is that the Swagger books arrive in, I think, late Jan or early Feb. So any which ways, you are only left with around 2.5 months to prepare. Plus, while I was working, and at that point in time I was also not based in my hometown, I had to go to Hyderabad for a couple of projects,
Okay,
so I couldn't attend most of the classes as well because of this.
right, right.
I used to call you up, and I remember that we used to discuss that how to approach, since because
Time is
I
very
couldn't
less.
attend the classes. Yeah, and because of the books also that came in late.
Right.
But the biggest challenge was operational risk for me, because it is entirely theory. So I, to be very honest, kept that book aside for the initial part of my preparations. I only focused on market risk and credit risk, because I know that there were sums to be solved for, and most of the questions were quantitative based. And I know that since I consider solving sums as my forte, I knew that if I could at least get those sums right, then I will scrape through at least those two books. And maybe operational risk, I will just take a blank guess, because it is entirely theoretical, and either you know it or you don't know it. I mean,
Right, right. And even if you
it is,
start the preparation early, you'll tend to
yeah,
forget. You'll have to do a second revision for
yeah,
that.
absolutely. No, absolutely. With operational risk, it was very difficult.
So when we were looking at the exam, so in the exam, 4 hours 80 question. Was there a
Yeah.
time constraint for you?
No, no. So at least for level 2, I never faced a time constraint. I mean, I'm not saying that you will have spare time, but it is sufficient time to attempt 80 questions, because as compared to level 1, sorry, there are more theory questions. So with theory, it is either you know or you don't know. And for solving, you will at least attempt to reach to that answer. So, and plus, while using the calculator, it will consume some amount of time. So for level 2, I found the time to be sufficient. I mean, everyone can attempt at least all the 80 questions in that particular 4 hours.
And so normally what happens is you do find a lot of questions mixed, which is basically a
Correct.
single question coming from market risk to credit risk or operation risk. So was that the scenario in your exam?
Yeah, absolutely. We had to juggle between questions, and I think deciphering what the question is is one of the major aspects to how you will eventually reach to that particular answer. So yeah, reading the question made a lot of sense.
So in the level two also there were a lot of I assume that there were a lot of bigger questions in terms of half a page question or say 7-8 line question, so that it takes a lot of time for you to read also, right? As
Right.
compared to level one.
Right. Right. Absolutely. The length of the questions is around 5 to 6 lines at least.
Great. And once you completed FRM level two, what was
Right.
the change that happened in your career? I mean, was there a direct change or indirect change? When I'm referring to direct change, am I referring to remuneration, growth in your career in terms of promotion? Indirect change means recognition, getting good quality work. So what happened after that?
Yeah. So FRM obviously did help me in my career from a point saying that I just to take a step back. I already am working for a risk consulting organization, but we are obviously limited our focus to operational risk, and so I mean I can now clearly relate what there is when we refer to operational risk during the FRM journey to what I have been actually working on.
Okay.
Uh, Plus, from a growth story aspect, yeah, I was one of the few who had, I mean, in at least in my office or my location, I was the only one who had done my FRM certification. So, yep, in terms of recognition, I was uh, very well recognized within the organization.
Okay.
Uh, yep, and plus, given this sort of thing, I was then given an opportunity to move to Australia as well. I mean, it's not that it was just because of the FRM
Yeah, I
certification. I
understand
mean,
that.
people have moved without the FRM certification as well. But yep, so it did help me. And plus, when we talk about promotions, increments, obviously you have an added advantage where when you are obviously compared with your peers, and the the curve that we use generally the HR uses, so they place your peers against the bell curve. Sorry, they place your peers against yourself. So with the certification advantage, you obviously stand at a better position than your peers if they haven't done.